Hello, this is math lesson 4-1 for Thursday, November 19th, 2020. If you need to pause the video at any point in time to answer any questions or answer any questions your student might have, you can do so at any time. Okay, let's get started.
You can count back or count on to subtract.
That's two ways you can subtract.
Let's try with 11 minus 5. What are the two ways that you can subtract 11 minus 5? You can subtract by counting on or counting back. Do you think that you will get the same answer whether you count on or count back?
Select your answer.
Do you think that you will get the same answer whether you count on or count back? If you count back, you start at 11 and you count backwards 5. Or you could start at 5 and count on until you get 11. And if you do both of those, you should get the same answer.
Yes, you will get the same answer because both counting on and counting back are ways to find 11 minus 5. You can count back on a number line to subtract 11 minus 5. Where should you start on the number line? Why? You should start at 11 because that is the number that you are subtracting from. How many should you count back? Explain. You should count back 5 because that is the number that you are subtracting. What is 11 minus 5? How do you know? 11 minus 5 equals 6. You know 11 minus 5 is 6 because after you counted back 5, you are at 6 on the number line. You can also count on to subtract 11 minus 5 on a number line. How could you use a number line to count on to solve 11 minus 5? Start at 5 and count on 6 to get to 11. 5 plus 6 equals 11, so 11 minus 5 equals 6. Do you get the same answer if you count on or count back to find 11 minus 5? Explain. Yes, you get the same answer, 6, whether you count on or count back. Now you know how to count back or count on to subtract.
Okay, so today we'll be doing some subtraction problems, and the video showed you two different ways, so you can use whichever way is the most comfortable for you. All right, you need to get out your volume 1 math workbook, and you're going to turn to page 231 with a pencil. Okay, if you're on page 231, it should look like this. And we need to read the directions to figure out what we have to do on this page. So his name is Mark. Mark has 13 erasers. He gives 5 of them to Troy. How many erasers does Mark have now? Show your thinking on the number line below. Okay, so it says that Mark has 13 erasers. So what you want to do is you want to take your pencil and you want to put a dot on 13. Because that's how many he has to start with. Now it says he gives 5 of them to Troy. So if you're giving away something, the number is going to get smaller because you're giving them away, you're losing them. So on a number line, the numbers get smaller if you go this direction. So anytime you're subtracting, you need to go backwards. Now if we go forwards, that means we are adding. But today we are subtracting. Okay, so we're going to start at 13, and we're going to take away 5, so we need to take 5 hops backwards. So we'll start with 1. Remember, do not count the number you start on. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the question asks, how many erasers does Mark have now after he gives 5 away? We landed on 8. So Mark has 8 erasers now. Okay, if you are done with that page, you need to turn to the next page. And if you look at the top, that is the lady from our video, and she's just showing you the 2 different ways that you can subtract, either by counting backwards like this one or by counting on like this one. But like I said, it's whatever way you are most comfortable with. You can use whichever one to subtract. Okay, let's read the directions for numbers 1 and 2. Use the number line to count back or count on and find the difference. Okay, number 1 they did for you, 11 minus 3. So what they did is they started on 11 because that's the first number in the equation, and then they took away 3. So they took 3 hops backwards. So trace it. 1, 2, 3. So 11 minus 3 equals, what they land on? 8. Okay, try number 2 on your own, and then we will go through it. If you notice, though, they put the equal sign on the other side of the equation. So just do it like normal, but the answer just goes on the other side. Okay, number 2, 15 minus 6 equals blank. So the number that we need to start on, usually with subtraction problems, you always want to start with the biggest number. Because if you don't start with the biggest number and you subtract, you're going to end up in the negatives. And we don't talk about negatives in first grade. So you always want to start with the biggest number when you subtract. And if you look at this equation, 15 is the biggest number. So put a dot on 15. Now we are taking away 6. So remember, take away means go backwards. So we need to take 6 hops backwards. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, and after your 6 hops backwards, what number did you land on? Yes, you landed on 9. Now, if you wanted to use the other way, the other strategy, you could count on. I'll show you really quick how to count on if you want to use that way. Okay, you'll still get the same answer. It's just a little bit different. Like I said, if you don't understand, then you don't have to use it. Okay, now if you're counting on, you're going to start with the smallest number in the equation, which is 6. So you put a dot on 6. Now what you'll do is you'll take hops until you get to the biggest number in the equation, which is 15. Okay, so let's count, and we'll stop when we get to 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 15. Now, do we get the same answer? Yes, we took 9 hops. Same thing as when we started at 15 and went backwards 6 hops. We landed on 9. So either way, whichever one works for you, you use. Okay, if you're done with that page, just look at the next page. Your job is to do numbers 3, 4, and 5 on this page. Now, number 3 is just a normal problem. Number 4, they put the equal sign on the other side. Okay? And then in number 5, they get a little tricky. You're missing a number in the middle. So what you need to figure out is, if I start on 15, how many do I have to take away to land on 7? So start on 15, count back, and then stop when you get on 7, and then write your answer in the blank. Now, when you're done and you write an answer in the blank, please check your answer. So do 15 minus whatever you put in here and make sure it equals 7. Okay? So number 5 is a little tricky, but you should be fine. All right, you have to do this page, 233. Now, if you want extra practice, you can do page 234. You have some story problems on there having to do with subtraction. You could also do, mine's not showing up. You could also do the next page and the next page. I think those are 235 and 236. Like I usually tell you, you don't have to do all the problems on each page, but you can pick a few and just do some extra practice. Now, when you're done with that, please get on the Savas website and do your quick check. Make sure you don't get behind on those, please. And that is it for today. Thank you.